Dear ex-skinny people, what all changes did you observe after gaining weight? I had boobs. I have been both very skinny and significantly overweight at different points in my life. People are much nicer when you are average skinny. The whole social vibe changes. People don't take you seriously as much and have almost a condescending attitude. Become basically invisible to the opposite sex. People are nice to you less. People treat you better the closer you get to average size, which varies, depending on where you are. They are friendlier, they are more helpful, they are more willing to engage you in conversation, they make eye contact more often, etc. The more obese you get, the more people just avoid you and avoid interacting with you unless it's their job. And then most are overly bright and cheery. How attractive would you say you are? 7 when I look in the mirror. 1 or 2 when I see myself in a photo. My mom says any woman would be lucky to have me. So maybe a 3. Based on other people's opinions, somewhere between hideously ugly and very handsome. Attractive enough to post anonymously on Reddit. I'd, like a goblin? People say I'm pretty. Well, they usually say pretty stupid, but I tend to focus on the positive aspects. In Miami I'm a 4. In Tallahassee I'm a 7.5. On a scale of 1 to 5 I'm a solid 1. My personality has to do a lot of heavy lifting. 5 in reality. 4 in the mirror. 2 on a photo. Lol. I'm about 273 degrees Celsius. I was a solid 9 before cancer but felt like I was a 6 at best. Now about a 5, but the main difference is that I feel like I'm a 10. People that don't wear shorts, no matter how hot it is. Why? What about people that wear shorts in wintertime? Varicose veins. My blood is fucking delicious. I attract all sorts of bloodsuckers, even after applying mosquito repellent. I literally know if my cats have fleas by them going after me instead of after my cats, so fuck shorts. And especially, fuck botflies. I don't like my legs. My thighs are so big that any length of shorts will be turned into booty shorts after 2 seconds of walking. Chub rub is real. And it's no joke. Pants never ride up on me, but shorts always do. Also, I have always had bad varicose veins, on my feet and legs, for as long as I can remember. And I'm not even that old. I don't wear shorts if I'm going somewhere. The reason is everywhere has a sea and I end up cold. I will wear them to do yard work or something. Serious, what do you think is the creepiest, most disturbing unsolved mystery ever? The Hinterkaifeck murders. Somebody brutally murdered an entire family, including 2 young children, and then stuck around their house for 2 days, making fires in the fireplace, eating their food and feeding their animals. And to this day, no one knows who or why. The number of murders taking place in Texas between Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio along the highways is terrifying. There have been assessments that there may be a full dozen different serial killers working that territory. What book is 1010 in your opinion? All Quiet on the Western Front. If you thought the movie was heartbreaking, you're in for a treat. Had to read it for school and it became an all-nighter for me. Flowers for Algernon. It legit made me cry for how beautiful it is. Count of Monte Cristo. Hyperion Cantos by Dan Simmons. Top Shelf. Mother Night by Kurt Vonnegut. Extremely effective on an emotional level. The Blade itself. Joe Abercrombie. Quite literally changed how I look at characters in literature and helped me understand how to write nuanced characters that have internal contradictions that are still well-defined characters. Unbelievably well written, and far and above almost all genre fiction. Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. Not only does it comically poke fun at all our daily oddities, but it made me heavily reminisce about growing up in a small village. What can you proudly say you've never done? Dropped my phone in the toilet. Crack. Been arrested. Heroin. Shit in the shower. Died. I've never gotten a DUI. Being a 40-something living in Wisconsin my entire life makes that a nearly unbelievable fact. Murder. Never broken a bone. Cheated, and I tend to keep it that way. Came from a broken family and I don't want my kids to experience the shit me and my siblings went through. Meatloaf that. Throw stones at street dogs. Cats. Never watched an episode of The Kardashians. Never had to go to the ER for shoving something up my butt. This is actually shameful. But I have never tarred and feathered a politician. Let suicidal ideation take over. Watched Two Girls One Cup. Bought crypto or NFTs. Never been to a strip club. I just never saw the point. Play League of Legends, and cocaine. Lose my virginity and get COVID. Methamphetamine. What did you find out after a first date that was a deal breaker? On the surface, he was a lawyer with an Ivy League degree. Then just one layer deep, he had 6 kids with 5 different women. One of his exes hated him so much he took their kids to Germany to get away from him. And the kicker? His youngest was 6 months old and he was sleeping on his ex's couch. That he had restraining orders against him from not 1, but 2 exes. Also asked if he could move in with me on the first date, smiley face. She said she used heroin but unlike most people, She could do it safely. She was married. We met at a bar and left together. Went and had dinner, saw a movie, and she spent the night. The next morning she says, I wonder if my husband figured out I didn't come home. Then she asked me for a ride to work and I got a ticket because she didn't wear her seatbelt. What is normal now that was atypical before COVID? Contactless delivery. In my area at Spar's closing super early. Places that were open until 2 a.m. now close at 10 p.m. Good. Telehealth doctor's appointments are much more accessible now, readily available, and covered by insurance without a fight. Bad. Nothing is open late anymore, let alone 24/7. Vampires need groceries too. Making school days cancelled for weather into remote learning days. Paying $12 with tax for a quarter pounder with cheese combo meal. Restaurants closing early. Being able to stand in line without some motherfucker breathing on your neck. Being able to stay home with a cold. Me not wanting to go out and do things. I was pretty extroverted, but now I've grown incredibly accustomed to just staying in most of the time. I hardly see friends anymore. What is slowly phasing out in 2023? My mental well-being. Cashiers. 2023. Reddit coins and awards. Boomers. Common decency. Decency. Morals. Values. Ethics. Democracy. Hope. NFT. End-to-end encryption for the general public. Apparently not cringy edgelord comments. But also physical SIM cards for cell phones are starting to go away. Landline phones. The native population of European countries. Intelligence. We have the known understanding of the universe at our fingertips, yet the same device is making people dumber. Ukraine. My hopes for Ukrainian victory after what Musk did. Hopefully old AF conservative boomer politicians. Liberals. My sex life. My will to live. Potty training your kid. We have kindergartners starting school in diapers now. What is something all guys do but will never admit to doing? Nose picking is more common than anyone will admit. Hopefully cleaning their ass daily real good in case a surprise BJ ever comes their way. I play with my dick more than any other object, by far. Morning peas sometimes goes sideways and there's annoying cleaning up to do. Sniff our armpits to be sure it don't stink or we enjoy the smell. When you pee and it splits in two streams and one hits the toilet seat and the other hits your leg. Daydream about insane scenarios that will never happen where you're the main hero that swoops in to save the day. Common examples include things like thinking you could figure out how to land an entire airplane in an emergency, thinking about what happens if there's a robbery and I stop the bad guy, thinking about saving someone from a burning building, thinking you could save someone's life if there's a random medical emergency, etc. If I won't admit to it, how can I comment here and thus admit to the thing? What was ruined because of 9/11? I was 14 the summer of 2001 and my family took a trip to Europe. Being 14 and a nerd, I bought a sword. Carried it on the plane home. Security guy asked what's in the box. I said it's a sword. He said sweet and gave me a fist bump. This was like 2 months before 9/11. Turn of the millennium optimism. Quick airline travel. People would often show up 30 minutes or so before a flight and be able to board on time. National news coverage. The crawler only appeared during major events or simultaneous big stories. It never went away after 9/11. Catching joyride with the pilots in the jump seats. Oh, those were the days. What's it like to still be deeply in love with someone years after they've fallen out of love with you? How do you cope? I have no idea the person they are now or even what they're up to now, but I still am in love with the version of them I knew. Maybe they still love me in the way that they used to know me, but I'll never know. Acceptance is the closest thing you'll ever get to relief. Are you sure you're deeply in love with them still? Or the idea of them? We often put people, especially former flames, on a pedestal that isn't accurate to who they really were. You have to let them go since they've let you go. Focus on what you can control. Work on yourself and pursue things that bring you happiness. For me, I find it similar to grief. After some years the same emotion is still there, even if the intensity has diminished due to adapting to or as part of daily life. What's the best non-alcoholic drink in the world? Water. Water. Arnold Palmer. Horchata. Lemonade. Coffee. Chocolate milk. Brondo. The Thirst Mutilator. Ginger ale. Strawberry milkshakes. Slurm. It's highly addictive. Water. But drink? Peach lemonade. Thai iced tea. Fresca. Heart with arrow. Heart with arrow. Root beer. AW if you're feeling sweet. Barks if you're feeling spicy. Gamer girl bath water. Ice cold sprinkling water. Orangina. Watermelon lemonade. Homemade and not too sweet. Dr. Pepper. Can't beat a good cup of tea after a long day. Coca-Cola. And it's better than alcoholic drinks. What's the worst movie you ever watched? Trump vs. Illuminate. Yes, it is a real movie. Yes, I saw the whole thing. And yes, I was drunk. Microwave massacre. A man tires of his wife's upscale cooking, begins murdering hookers and cooking their body parts in a microwave. Get ready to have your childhood ruined, Because the killer is played by Jackie Vernon, who voiced Frosty the Snowman. I won free tickets to see Transformers Age of Extinction early and I wanted my money back. I think I've watched enough MS Tech Mystery Science Theater 3000 to be unable to pinpoint an exact title. Lol. The Happening. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Completely ignored the source material. Holmes and Watson. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Plus, Sherlock Holmes. What's not to love? Nothing. One of the most boring things I sat through until I turned it off.